Unlocking your full potential doesn't require a drastic life overhaul. It's about rewiring your inner landscape. It sounds unbelievable, I know. The idea of building your own fortune, not as a metaphor, but as a tangible reality. But it's true, and I'll show you how. How many times has self-doubt frozen you in place? The "I can't. This isn't for me. Where do I even begin?" Thoughts. I've been there. The turning point? Taking that first step, blindly, into the unknown. Confidence isn't a prerequisite. It's the byproduct of action. It seems counterintuitive, but it's the absolute truth. Waiting for the perfect moment, that magical alignment where fear vanishes. That moment never comes. Security doesn't precede action. It's its consequence. When I received Think and Grow Rich, I wasn't brimming with confidence. I hadn't a clue it would change my life. But something shifted in that conversation. I believed in the unwavering conviction of the person giving it to me. That was enough to start, I reasoned. If they believe this strongly, the least I can do is try. Back then, I was scraping by. My gas tank was perpetually on fumes, fueled by $2 fill-ups. Just enough to keep moving, never a full tank. I was drowning in debt. Worse, I thought it was normal. Have you ever found yourself in a tough spot, yet convinced it's just the way things are? Resigned to the "at least I have a job" mentality? But honestly, is that all you truly want? Is that your destiny? Most people exist in a monotonous cycle. Wake up, coffee, commute, work, dinner, sleep. Repeat. Secretly hoping for a change, yet taking no action. Transformation doesn't start with brute force. It begins with a decision, a tiny commitment to act despite fear, to start even without guarantees. My start was minuscule, cleaning an office for $15. Was it meager? Absolutely. But it was more than nothing. And it was my step. Soon I was cleaning 2 offices, then 4, then 7. What happened? I started believing in myself. Each small victory became tangible proof of my ability to create. This wasn't about positive affirmations. It was about action, even when trembling with doubt. The action comes first. Security follows. Every act, no matter how fearful, whispers to your brain, "I am capable. I am in control." This builds a foundation, brick by brick. It's not fast, not glamorous, but it's real. This builds unshakable confidence. A caveat. Motivation is fickle. Nobody's motivated every day. Motivation doesn't move mountains. Discipline does. The decision to act, even without desire, is paramount. Today, we're bombarded with motivational content. You can do it, videos, inspirational quotes, but execution is lacking. Consider the brilliant minds, the incredible dreams, left unrealized. The problem isn't a lack of talent, it's waiting for certainty before starting. The secret? You don't need to believe you'll succeed, you just need to believe you'll try again if you don't. This kept me moving. I didn't aim for millions initially, I just wanted out of poverty. As I took one step, then another, my vision expanded. Each step fueled greater belief. The biggest mistake, trying to change everything at once. This breeds fear, and fear paralyzes. Start small. Something you can do today. Now, don't quit your job, don't move, don't invest everything. Just commit to one step. Read a book, write down a goal, clean an office floor. But act. Because action shifts your self-perception. You become a doer. That changes everything. Confidence isn't innate. It's built. It starts the moment you stop waiting for courage and simply go. Most people live with a distorted self-image, unaware of it. They're guided by a hidden mental program dictating what's possible or impossible. This is your paradigm, controlling your income, behavior, results, decisions, even your sense of self-worth. The terrifying part? It's installed before you can even speak, during childhood. Before you understand money, success, or self-belief. As a child, I lived in a tiny cabin in northern Canada during wartime, a time of scarcity and fear. My parents didn't have money, not from laziness, but because they were programmed the same way. I absorbed it all. Consider your parents' relationship with money. Did they lament, "Money doesn't grow on trees"? you have to work hard for little, or life is hard for honest people. Every time you heard this, your subconscious recorded it. Your paradigm was formed, a map not drawn by you, but by educators who never became wealthy, frustrated relatives, disillusioned neighbors, a society that glorifies scarcity. Have you sabotaged your own success, overspending, missing opportunities, feeling undeserving? It's not bad luck. It's a distorted self-image pulling you back to your origin point. Even earning hundreds of thousands a month, I acted poor. I spent recklessly, gambled, wasted. I was still that man ashamed to borrow $2 for gas. Seen someone high-earning yet perpetually in debt, talented yet perpetually unfinished, enthusiastic but self-sabotaging. That's a paradigm in action. It doesn't matter how much you learn or how many videos you watch, you won't exceed the limits of your self-image. Schools fill us with information, but never teach us to reprogram our internal frameworks. This creates frustration, confusion, and anxiety. That knot in your throat, the feeling of being meant for more, trapped in an invisible cycle, that's your paradigm pulling you back. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Without paradigm change, nothing changes. New jobs, cities, relationships won't alter your ingrained programming. You'll recreate the same results elsewhere. The first step to transforming your confidence, income, and freedom is understanding your internal programming. Examine your beliefs, question your language, review your decisions. Why do you repeat mistakes, vowing each time to be different? Because your self-image remains unchanged. It always wins, finding ways to drag you back to your perceived level of worthiness. Don't lie to yourself about believing. Change doesn't happen with affirmations. It requires deep, repeated reprogramming. That's the core of everything I teach, because I've lived it. Trying to change your life with willpower when your identity remains the same is futile. Want genuine change? Stop seeking external answers and start rebuilding your self-image. The image of someone who deserves more, creates more, lives more. You were born rich, but taught to live poor. It's time to undo that deception. External change mirrors internal change. Without it, you repeat patterns, life becomes a cycle, and you question your own worth. It's not you, it's your self-perception. When my income soared, I felt the same insecurity, disconnection, and disorganization. I was winning, yet internally I was still the man who failed. I gained more, yet lost it all through compulsive spending and recklessness. Know anyone like that? High earners perpetually broke. They seem to stay on the edge despite their climb. The external doesn't sustain the internal. New jobs, homes, partners, clothes, cars won't matter if your mind is programmed for scarcity. Your subconscious is fertile ground. It accepts any seed you plant, unable to distinguish imagination from reality. Repeat images of fear, scarcity, failure, and it believes. Repeat prosperity, confidence, love, and it believes those too. How do you react to an unexpected bill, a compliment, an opportunity pushing you out of your comfort zone? These are automatic reactions from your internal programming. They're emotional, not logical. Emotion, not logic, rules your life. A study in the Journal of Behavioral Decision-Making showed financial decisions are far more linked to feelings about money than knowledge of it. It doesn't matter if you understand investments. If you feel uncomfortable with wealth, you'll sabotage it. I realized I'd changed externally, but not internally. Imagination fueled by emotion is key. Your subconscious needs vivid images, and the more emotionally charged, the stronger the impact. People easily imagine a bleak future because they feel the fear. But ask them about their ideal life, and they often freeze. Can you vividly imagine financial freedom, free time, emotional peace? Can you feel it? If not, that's where the work lies. Reality changes only when your mental image changes. It's a sequence. You think. Thought generates emotion. Emotion creates a vibrational state. This state dictates what you attract, how you act, and your results. Everything you have, good or bad, came from this sequence. To change your outcome, change your thoughts and feelings. Initially, visualizing my life differently was tough. My mind sabotaged me. Who do you think you are? Say, you'll never achieve this. This is impossible for someone like you. But I persisted. One day, The image became clearer, stronger, and felt real. Everything changed, not because the world shifted, but because I did. When you change internally, the world aligns with your new vibration. You don't live what you desire, you live what you believe, genuinely believing only what feels true. To live a new reality, don't wait for it. Create it within. Visualize, feel, act, and the world will follow. Why do you fall into the same patterns despite access to information? Incredible books, inspiring talks, powerful stories, yet you repeat mistakes, habits, and results? I've been there. I thought it was a knowledge deficit, so I studied endlessly. Results didn't match. It's not about how much you know. It's about repetition. Repetition is the missing link between knowing and being, transforming concepts into conviction. You can hear a powerful truth once and be moved, but only through repeated hearing, feeling, thinking, and acting upon it does it become part of you. I read Think and Grow Rich daily for years, not because it was aesthetically pleasing, but because each reading awakened a new part of me, igniting inner lights dormant since childhood. I repeated, even without fully understanding or believing, because something told me it worked, and it did. Most people consume content but don't apply it, or try once and quit. They don't repeat, don't sufficiently expose themselves to the idea, don't live it until it becomes natural. They revert to old patterns because subconscious programming is stronger than momentary inspiration. Remember learning to drive? Initially difficult, demanding full attention, but eventually automatic. That's repetition. The brain learned, the body memorized. The same applies to confidence, self-esteem, abundance, discipline. These are behaviors, products of programming, that change only with continuous conscious repetition. I listen to the same Earl Nightingale audio daily, sometimes more than once, knowing my mind wouldn't absorb everything at once. Even with the same content, I discovered new insights, because each time I was different. My consciousness shifted. What once seemed like a simple phrase became a trigger for transformation. Have you reread something and thought, how did I not see this before? You saw it, but weren't ready to absorb it. Repetition prepares the ground, breaks resistance, making the impossible possible. Your current paradigm formed through repetition, hearing the same beliefs, fears, limits for years. As it formed through repetition, it can be replaced through it. Reprogram your subconscious with new ideas, but commit to repetition. Read the same paragraph daily. Listen to the same audio for weeks. Visualize the same goal multiple times a day. Not once, but until it becomes more familiar than the old pattern. Until it's automatic, natural, true. Remember school. You read, tested, forgot, because you didn't repeat, didn't live what you learned. True learning isn't passing tests. It's changing behavior based on knowledge, happening only when repetition becomes habit. Choose a powerful idea, an inspiring phrase, a motivating vision, and repeat it daily. Write, read aloud, listen, meditate upon it until it's in your blood, part of your identity. My life changed when I understood this. Not learning more, but practicing what resonated. I moved from scarcity to freedom through daily, intentional, disciplined, faithful repetition. Repetition transforms doubt into certainty, fear into courage, intention into action, and repeated action creates a new reality. You don't need a new idea. You need a new commitment to the right idea. It starts with repeating. Repeat until it becomes truth. Truth into identity. Identity into destiny. Everyone wants freedom, time and money. To travel when desired, eat what they like, help family, live peacefully, make choices without checking their balance. What's striking is, everyone wants it, yet few believe they can have it. That's the mistake. Most live as if freedom is a privilege for the few, when it's a direct consequence of how you use your mind. Learn to use it correctly, and you'll see freedom isn't a prize for the elite. It's a choice, a mental state. For years I saw freedom as a privilege of the wealthy, not seeing myself among them. An invisible wall separated them from us. Decades of study and observation of ordinary people achieving extraordinary results revealed what no one tells us. Freedom starts with perception. Everything changes when you change your worldview. How do you manage your time, ideas, and opportunities? When I realized everyone has 24 hours, my mind clicked. Some build businesses, prosper, have family time, maintain health, while others are perpetually chasing, busy, and tired. Those with freedom learn to use time intentionally. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Harvard Business Review research shows the most successful people aren't the busiest. They know how to say no to things that don't serve their goals. This requires clarity, a trained mind. Freedom is linked to your relationship with money. Some earn well but fear losing it all. Others are trapped by debt, as if money is always a problem, a stressor. Most never learn to think healthily about money. Money is an idea, an energy of exchange, responding to your consciousness. Income doesn't define success. It's your use of it and what you believe you deserve. Unlocking your potential. Why permission isn't required for success? I've met brilliant minds, Ivy League educated, yet financially strapped. Conversely, I've seen individuals with limited formal schooling amass incredible wealth because they understood the power of perception, mental imagery, and the inner workings of the mind itself. Why? Knowledge isn't the sole key. Unwavering belief in yourself and determined action are just as crucial. Your mind is the master key. It can be your prison or your liberation. It's a powerhouse of untapped tools: imagination, reason, willpower, intuition, memory. Yet we're taught to seek external solutions when the answers lie within. Craving freedom? Ditch the magic formulas and focus on your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Remember my Toronto days? I was drowning in unproductive tasks, constantly putting out fires, busy but utterly stagnant. That's when I started studying the thinking of great leaders. They weren't smarter, they were focused and disciplined. They did what was necessary, not what they wanted, leveraging their minds as powerful tools. Understand this. Unshakable confidence stems from recognizing your ability to shape your reality, independent of external validation. It's about waking up clear on your goals, knowing you have the potential for greater success, prosperity, and impact. It's understanding that consistent action combined with ongoing mental training transforms the seemingly impossible into inevitable. Financial and time freedom aren't the starting point. They're the result of an efficient mental process. That process starts with a simple question: how can I use my mind today to build the life I want? It's not about luck, it's about conscious action. And conscious action, fueled by repetition, discipline, and focus, breeds something unbreakable: authentic freedom. Most people don't fail due to lack of talent, but because they wait for permission to win. They seek family, professional, and social approval, stifling their potential for fear of appearing ambitious, bold, or different. Let me be clear, you don't need anyone's permission to live your purpose. True self-assurance comes from stopping the relentless pursuit of validation and embracing who you truly are. What holds most people back isn't uncertainty about the path, but the fear of judgment. What if they think I'm arrogant? What if I fail? What if success drives a wedge between me and loved ones? These doubts sabotage your potential. Change requires liberation from the need for approval. I recall sharing my knowledge early on, titleless and without status, facing disbelief, ridicule, and criticism. Many dismissed it as empty positivity, unconcerned with the practicalities of life. It bothered me initially, but I realized I couldn't continue living a life trying to fit into ineffective molds. Do you feel it? That sense of playing a role that doesn't represent you? That's inauthentic living. It erodes self-belief because you betray yourself to please others. And others, they'll always have an opinion. Follow the rules, and you'll be criticized. Be humble, and you might be called cowardly. Sacrifice yourself, and you might still be deemed insufficient. So why hide? You were born to grow, expand, and inspire, disrupting the comfortable complacency of the status quo. Consider, how many dreams have been abandoned due to external criticism? How many people have become diminished versions of themselves to protect relationships? How many talents have been buried out of fear of shining too brightly? The world needs people who refuse to conform to expectations, who own their worth and don't apologize for their growth. You can be that person. Break the cycle of seeking permission. Tell yourself, I authorize myself to succeed. The moment you embrace your greatness, something shifts. Your posture, your gaze, your energy, and the world reflects that transformation. Want respect? Respect yourself. Value? Stop undervaluing yourself at freedom. Free yourself from the opinions of others. An inner strength awaits your command, requiring no external permission, only your decision. For the next 3 days, repeat 3 times a day. I no longer ask for permission, I authorize myself. In moments of fear, shame, or self-doubt, remember, you're not here for approval, but for authenticity. By living authentically, unwavering confidence becomes your reality. You don't need permission to be you. True confidence doesn't come from others. It comes from the decision to respect yourself and show the world who you are. That moment can be now. If this resonated with you, the next video will help you progress. It will deepen your understanding and help you become a little better. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.